Today, we're taking a look at the first four Herbie movies from Disney. These commentaries are from previously posted videos. The film featured is The Love Bug, a 1969 Disney film starring Dean Jones, Michelle Lee, Buddy Hackett, David Tomlinson, Joe Flynn, Benson Fong, and of course Herbie. This was one of the first films that didn't include the phrase Walt Disney Presents before the credits. Instead, it contained the phrase Walt Disney Productions Presents. The company would use that phrase before its film credits for the next 14 years, up through 1983. The phrasing denoted whether Walt Disney himself oversaw the making of the film. Although he died at the end of 1966, Walt Disney did buy the rights to the original 1961 story, Carboy Girl by Gordon Buford, and selected Dean Jones as the film's lead. The Love Bug was a huge hit for Disney, earning $51 million at the domestic box office against a budget of only $5.1 million. It was the second highest grossing film of 1969. The film was also a critical success and currently has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 78% fresh. Disney went through many titles for this film before finally settling on the name The Love Bug. During development, it had as many as 6 other names, including Carboy Girl, The Magic Volksy, The Runaway Wagon, Beetle Bomb, Wonder Beetle, Bug Boom, and Thunderbug. This film launched a franchise that includes 4 sequels, including Herbie Rides Again, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, Herbie Goes Bananas, and Herbie Fully Loaded. In 1983, there was a short-lived TV series called Herbie the Love Bug starring Dean Jones, and in 1997, there was a made-for-TV movie simply called The Love Bug starring Bruce Campbell. Interestingly, Dean Jones' character of race car driver Jim Douglas has appeared in or been referenced in all of the Herbie movies. He was the lead in the TV show, and he even appeared in the TV movie as well. The weakest reference to his character is in the film Herbie Fully Loaded, in the form of a note left by Herbie's previous owner in Herbie's glove box. I really like The Love Bug, even though it has a pretty silly premise. There's just something about it that feels like a feature film. In the late 1960s, Disney movies still felt like feature films. I think in the 1970s, a lot of them felt more like really good TV movies. But this film in particular felt like it was targeted towards adults, but it was still something that a kid could watch and enjoy. Unlike a lot of the Disney films in the 1970s, there are no kids in this movie whatsoever. In fact, the only Herbie movie featuring a kid was 1980's Herbie Goes Bananas, and it also was the lowest grossing film in the Herbie franchise. Well, those are my comments for this video. If you like these retro videos, please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, click the notification bell, and leave a comment. The film is Herbie Rides Again from 1974, and it's the second film in the Herbie franchise. This film doesn't include any of the cast from the original film, unless you count Herbie the Love Bug. With the Herbie franchise, Disney opted to take a path similar to that of 20th Century Fox with their Planet of the Apes franchise. The movies are all connected, but they don't necessarily have a set cast of characters that appear in all the sequels. However, it is important to note that the Dean Jones character of race car driver Jim Douglas either appears in or is referenced in every Herbie movie and TV show to some degree. The most recent reference was in Herbie Fully Loaded, with a note left in Herbie's glove box. That note had to be written by Jim Douglas. This film stars Helen Hayes, Ken Berry, Stephanie Powers, Keenan Wynn, John McIntyre, and of course Herbie. In it, Herbie has his own adventure with new characters, going up against ruthless land developer Alonzo Hawk, played by Keenan Wynn. Interestingly, this is the same character of Alonzo Hawk that appeared in The Absent-Minded Professor and Son of Flubber, which connects those movies to the Herbie movies in the Disney Cinematic Universe. This film was a huge hit for Disney, earning a worldwide box office of $38 million, which is like $237 million in today's dollars. You can see why they kept making Herbie movies. I really liked the movie when I was a kid, but when I watch it today, it's sort of slipped into that category of feeling more like a really good TV movie instead of a feature film. It also has some of that ridiculous slapstick humor that became a hallmark of Disney films in the 1970s. This may even be the movie where that trend started, and there's a long, involved dream sequence that seems a lot like filler when I watch it today. Maybe it was just an excuse to show more Herbie. If you've never seen it, it's worth watching, but don't expect too much. Well, those are my comments for this video. If you like these retro videos, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, click the notification bell, and leave a comment. The film featured in this video is Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo from 1977, and it's the third film in the Herbie franchise. In the film, Dean Jones returns as race car driver Jim Douglas and is joined by his riding mechanic Wheelie Applegate, played by Don Knotts. In the film, Jones, Knotts, and Herbie participate in a race from Paris, France to Monte Carlo, Monaco, and get mixed up with a bunch of jewel thieves in the process. Along the way, Herbie also falls in love with a Lancia by the name of Giselle. This was Dean Jones' last starring role in a Disney feature film, although he did later star in the Herbie TV series in 1983. The film was a moderate success for Disney, grossing $28 million at the box office, but it came nowhere near its predecessors. The Love Bug had grossed $51 million during its initial run, and Herbie Rides Again grossed $38 million during its release. I didn't really care much for this film when I first saw it. Even as a kid, I thought it was silly and kind of dumb in parts. As an adult, I can see how they were sort of trying to make it a little like a Pink Panther film. But even with that in mind, I still feel the same way about it. It suffers in parts from the ridiculous and over-the-top slapstick comedy Disney was injecting in almost all of their movies in the 1970s. It is watchable, but just barely, and that's only because Dean Jones and Don Knotts carry the film in their leading roles. Disney took a lot of liberties in making this film. For example, in the film, Herbie's gas cap is on the side of the car. But as every VW Bug owner knows, the gas cap is under the hood in real life, and it's also under the hood in every other Herbie movie. The filmmakers put it on the side in this film so it would be easier for the jewel thieves to hide the diamond. I don't think this is the worst Herbie movie, but it's pretty close. The film has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 60%, which just barely puts it in the category of fresh. I actually think the short-lived TV series in 1983 was better than this film. And here's some interesting trivia related to this film. The film ends with all three characters, including Herbie and Giselle, watching fireworks in Monte Carlo. The next film in the series, Herbie Goes Bananas, was originally going to pick up where this film left off and be about Herbie chasing after Giselle as she was sent to South America. For whatever reason, Disney dropped that angle of the story in Herbie Goes Bananas. And sharp-eyed viewers may notice that the car driven by Von Stickle was later remodeled and turned into the hero car used in the 1981 Disney film Condor Man. Well, those are my comments for this video. If you like these retro videos, please subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, click the notification bell, and leave a comment. The film featured in this video is Herbie Goes Bananas from 1980. This is the fourth film in Disney's Herbie franchise. The film stars Cloris Leachman, Harvey Korman, Stephen W. Burns, Charles Martin Smith, Alyssa Davalos, Joaquin Garay III, John Vernon, Richard Jackal, Alex Rocco, and, of course, Herbie. In the film, race car driver Jim Douglas loans Herbie to his nephew to race in South America. All of this takes place off-screen and is just mentioned during the beginning of the film. Along the way, Herbie gets mixed up with Paco, a local kid who is a pickpocket, a set of gold thieves, and a crazy cruise ship captain who makes Herbie walk the plank after Herbie causes chaos on the ship. That character's name is Captain Bligh, if you can believe it. Herbie survives his time at sea and rolls up on shore in South America, albeit rusty, where he gets involved in a bullfight, spends time as a taxi, and eventually thwarts the plans of the gold thieves who have been chasing Herbie for the whole film, looking for a piece of film Paco had stolen from their wallets. This film was the lowest grossing film of the franchise, delivering just $18 million at the box office, $10 million less than its predecessor, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, and $40 million less than the original. Even though it's the lowest grossing Herbie movie, Disney said the film still made a profit. I remember going to see this film in the theater, and I also remember being disappointed, and I was just a kid back then. Even as a kid, I could tell this wasn't very good. Today, I have mixed feelings about this film. The best way I can describe this film is to say it's like what might happen if Herbie went on an episode of The Love Boat. Much of the story takes place on a cruise ship like we saw on that show, and it's clear the producers were trying to borrow from that show's success with this movie. Herbie Goes Bananas also has the lowest score of any Herbie movie on Rotten Tomatoes with just 40%, and it's with good reason. While the film has some fun scenes, the story is all over the place and the third act falls apart completely, descending into absurd slapstick comedy involving the bad guys slipping on banana peels and Herbie biting off the back end of an airplane. If you're a Herbie fan and you've never seen this film, you're not missing much. If you are planning on watching it for the first time, my only advice is don't expect much. The filming and acting are okay, but the story and situations are absurd. You have to believe Herbie can move freely about a cruise ship and do things like take elevators and fit through standard doors. And Herbie gets thoroughly trashed in this movie. During the second half of the film, he is almost unrecognizable, all beat up and covered in rust. It's not a very good look for Herbie, and it can be off-putting if you're a fan of the franchise and the other films. I know I didn't like seeing Herbie like that. Of course, by the end of the film, Herbie looks clean and pristine again, which gets us back to the utterly ridiculous and absurd nature of this film. Well, those are my comments for this video. If you like these retro videos, please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up, click the notification bell, and leave a comment. All these things really help the channel. Keep watching for more retro videos like this and other retro videos like Retro Talk. Take care of yourself and look out for others. Talk to you later. Bye. These commentaries were from previously posted videos. To see the full videos, click any of the links on this page. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself and look out for others. Talk to you later. Bye.
This video brought to you by StockAgogo.com, Stock Photos.